Welcome to the Insurance Marketing Organization podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Green interviews IMO experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their IMOs, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Green.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Green. Today, I've got the fortune to be joined by Kim Wilhelm. Kim, thanks so much for joining us.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about your business.
Our business, Final Expense Direct, the name kind of says it all. We're a 15-year-old final expense telesales organization. It was born by us field agents turning into people who were able to help families with their final expense needs over the telephone. And the beauty of it was the telephone opens up the whole United States to be our marketing, or I call it playground.
Yes.
As opposed to having to go in home.
Okay. So how did you first of all, how'd you get in the final expense business to begin with?
You know, I've had insurance license since 1970. So I go way back. And most of my marketing has been in the blue collar market. Final Expense is a great product for that. Back in 1984, I was introduced to Final Expense. You know, it's just something that I've always gravitated to.
What do you like best about Final Expense is a service offering?
Service offering, I would say it's quick issue for the clients. There's no questions of, I make this sale today, am I going to be able to help this family? It's simplified issue insurance, you know, and to sell over the telephone, that's an important thing. It truly is. We're selling peace of mind to people, and, it's just a great tool.
Absolutely. How did the transition come about from being an individual producer to kind of helping other producers?
Well, the transition, first of all, in order to be able to help others, you have to be able to do it well yourself. And I was blessed in figuring out how to be a top salesman. What does a top salesman need? Training, products, and a volume of leads, and then go make it happen on a high level. Once you do that, then you can duplicate yourself if you have people that are like-minded, meaning they have great work ethic, drive, determination to succeed at what they do. You know, then you just have to be a good recruiter and a good trainer, and then continue to provide the support that they need to be able to provide for their families.
Absolutely. So then you've kind of now got a multi-pronged approach. You've got recruiting, as you mentioned, yes. Then the training to support those agents and advisors. And then, of course, their biggest challenge usually is quality leads. Let's kind of go through all three. So tell us a little bit about how advisors are finding you, how agents are working with you, kind of how that recruiting process works.
Well, the recruiting process, currently, we recruit. I actually have people that oversee that for me, but we recruit on Facebook. We do some recruiting on Google. We do some local recruiting. We've done a TV commercial that we run on Comcast for local, and it drives quite a bit of interest. We then have a recruiter who communicates with the local agents to bring them in for interviews. And then we've just started with a full-time recruiter to talk to the remote agents that we're trying to bring in for it. No,
how
go ahead.
Are you differentiating yourself from other final expense companies that might be trying to recruit, the same advisors?
The biggest difference is we try and be a turnkey shop. The insurance industry has a 92% failure rate in the first 3 years of an agent getting a license. In my mind, there's two main reasons, and let's set aside and assume that an agent knows how to sell and they know how to communicate and they have good work ethic. Then it comes down to training, and it comes down to a volume of leads. So we provide both in a big way.
You have quite a robust training program. Talk a little bit about how you're supporting the advisors and the agents that way.
Well, we do. And first of all, we have scripts that work. I have some agents that some in particular that we call Mr. Script. They're on script word for word, and they make good money. And then we have those that are stellar, who have figured out how to present the script in their own way. In other words, make a connection. So we train on scripts, we train on rebuttals, we train on product knowledge, we train on voice inflection, we train on how to make a connection. A solid week and a half before you ever touch a lead is classroom training, memory work, role play. Then once you hit the sales floor and you're taking leads, we have full-time monitoring people that listen to your calls, pass it to the managers who then will bring you in for follow-up critiquing. And then ongoing training every morning. The first hour of every morning is ongoing training for those who are not hitting the metrics, helping them raise their level of sales skills.
I think that ongoing accountability and improvement is probably a big contributor to your success and something that not every company does. Then let's transition and talk about the holy grail, what every advisor thinks their biggest problem is, which is lead flow.
Well, leads is the biggest issue. And most agents want to always say it's the leads and not look inward.
Of course.
A lead is a lead is a lead is what the saying is. And to some extent, there's some truth. But a great salesman will turn a marginal lead into a good lead. Our focus at Final Expense Direct is on high intent leads. We look for two things. Number one, I want the agent to have a great experience. The higher the intent in the hands of a good salesman, the better experience for the agent. But also on the other side, the better experience for the client. We look for a good experience on both sides. And even on an agent who is a 25% closer, which on the telephone, that's a good closing ratio because you're not face to face. They can't see, touch, or feel you. So they have to hear you and hear your heart. A 25% closer is still going to strike out 75% of the time. So he has to be in control of his mindset and understand it's just a lead. Some will, some won't. So what? Give me another lead and get back in the game. Telesales is a grind. It's a grind. Sales is a grind in an organization like ours where you have a volume of leads.
How are you driving that volume? How are some of the ways, we don't want your secret sauce, obviously, but what are some of the ways you're generating those leads?
We have a voracious appetite for leads, not as big as some of the other big organizations that have sprouted up. But we buy a lot of television leads, have for years. And 100% of our leads were different than a lot of other organizations. 100% of our leads are inbound leads. There is no outbound calling with our organization. So there's no agent sitting there pounding plastic trying to get someone on the phone. Again, I'm a salesman. I'm a good salesman. And I understand a salesman's mouth who isn't moving isn't making money. Okay? So there's no pounding plastic here. You sit there with the headset on, waiting on a call to hit your headset. Hello, this is Kim, Final Expense Direct. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today? And it's showtime. So we buy on average 8 to 12 inbound calls a day per agent. Good agents on a great day where they're closing 70%, they may only take 6 leads and write 3 or 4 apps. And on a day where they're having a little tougher time, they might take 15 or 16 leads to get their 3 apps. But the leads are there. That is my obligation to my agents, is that they will have someone to talk to. So we overspend based on the manpower. We overspend, but I would rather overspend than have an agent sitting there twiddling his thumbs, looking at me sideways, what's going on? Because there is no outbound calling.
How many agents are part of your program now?
There's about 62 right now, and I think 7 scheduled for training.
How big do you want to get?
I'm fine with slowly growing and taking it on up to 150 agents. It's not easy to find agents that have the will to win and the intestinal fortitude it takes to show up every day and do what it takes, meaning the work to put six figures in the bank. You know, we've helped people go from 25, 30,000 a year to 70, 60, 70, and they're happy there. But I've taken people from 25, 30,000 a year to 200,000 a year. That's what the opportunity is. In my mind, as a salesman, if one can, I can. Just teach me and then get out of my way, because I'm going to go make it happen. And to find people like me is not always that easy. We've just now really started to venture into the work from home agents and really trying to broaden the opportunity of agents for the agency. On a local basis, it's even harder to find people that have a drive and determination to do this in a big way.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I love helping people. It's not about making money anymore. I'm fine. I'm not wealthy. I'm fine. I could go home, retire, not worry about it. I get up every day with a passion to come in and help people have a better life. That's it in a nutshell.
You give advice every day to your agents. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've ever gotten: keep your blinders on, keep your faith, and show up every day. You know, to a fault, I show up every day. I learned to set goals, but I also learned to set base acceptable bottoms, which is a minimum, bless you, which is the minimum I will accept from myself personally. And my family has known for a long time, back when I was selling, if I didn't hit my base acceptable bottom Friday, I would not be home Friday night. My appointment setter knew to start booking me at noon on Friday, start booking Saturday, because I wasn't coming home if I didn't hit my sales number. You have to have that kind of an attitude if you want to be a winner in sales. You have to be willing to do what it takes, no matter what it is.
For our advisors and agents who are watching or listening, who want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them to find out more about Final Expense Direct and you?
You know, our website, finalexpensedirect.com. Our Facebook is facebook.com/Final Expense Direct. Recruiting, where we have some videos, is facebook.com/Fed Agent Opportunities.
All right. Well, this has been Seth Green with Kim Wilhelm of Final Expense Direct. Kim, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. For everybody watching or listening, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you or talk to you next time.